Beautiful black brothers and sisters, how y'all doing today? It's Sister Yar coming at you. Um, just to have a little bit of discussion about an article. I posted it on my Facebook. It's a study. It's the result of a study that just came out from Rutgers University. And, you know, we already know it, but and there have been other bodies of work, studies, research that have basically concluded the exact same thing. And I don't think the masses of our people who are living under the system of racism and white supremacy understand exactly what they're dealing with here. And I know this body of work to be legitimate from just talking to our brothers and sisters. I recently have, since I launched the Sankofa Repatriation Assistance Program, I've had so many brothers and sisters sending me mail discussing just this very thing about how living under a system of racism and white supremacy is affecting their mental health, emotional health, and physical health. So this study that came out, like I said, by researchers at Rutgers University, they concluded that black teens experience several forms of racial discrimination every day, which leads to increased short-term depressive symptoms. And this study was published this month, December 2019, in the Journal of Applied Development Psychology. I'm going to take my gum out. Also, they said that each teen in the study, each of these black teens in the study, experienced an average of 5 incidents of discrimination per day. 5 incidents of racial discrimination every single day of their lives. The teens' depressive symptoms increased with the number of racial discrimination experiences they reported. And they said that this result joins a growing body of evidence on how racism negatively affects the health of black communities, both mentally and physically. Our people are getting high blood pressure, and having strokes. This is something that it's building up inside. And when you're not mentally well, your mental affects your physical. We are being discriminated against in all the 9 major areas of human activity. And this is what Neely Fuller Jr. talked about. We are experiencing racial discrimination in all areas of human activity. Those areas are economics. Well, you know how you're being discriminated against. Economically, we have been kept out of the obtaining the generational wealth. They talk about how the black household has less than $1, $10, some ridiculous amount of money compared to the average white household. This is set up by design. Everything that black people have created for themselves, look at Black Wall Street, Rosewood, so many other communities. Even Central Park in New York used to be a black community, and now they just got rid of the black people in there and just made it into a public park. They bombed and destroyed Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They burned down Rosewood. Every time black people have gone into themselves and say, you know what, let's do for ourselves. And when we do that, we always come out on top. We always prosper. That's a fact. It's just that they can't stand to see it. They get jealous. They get envious. And they destroy it. They take it away. Education. Look, all these stories that come out about these now we got little children as young as 8, 9 years old committing suicide, killing themselves. All the stories that come out, every day on social media about some children at school, how they're being racially targeted, even in the universities. People are being racially targeted in some communities. They're talking about how they don't feel safe on campus. In entertainment, we see how our black actors and actresses are treated differently and not paid, you know, comparable to what white actors and actresses are paid. Um, and even, just and look what happened with Colin Kaepernick and the players that try to stand up for and speak up for the rights of black people. Then you get blackballed. Um, so we got Byron Allen with the TV stations that's going on right now. How this is a very wealthy black man, and he's still experiencing racial discrimination. No matter, see, having money doesn't stop, because at the end of the day, the poorest white person still believes that they're better than you, and you can be a black billionaire. And the whites who are up there with you that have money will still discriminate against you. So I remember seeing an interview with they were talking about how there's these few black people that are 1% of the 1%, very small number of black billionaires, and they were talking about how even within the billionaire club they are discriminated against by the whites. So, and then we know in law, I don't even think I have to really talk. We know the school to prison pipeline. We're 13% of the population. However, we're 53% of the prison population. So many cases coming out almost every day of another black man who spent years of his life in prison just to find out 30 years later, oh, it wasn't him. This happens almost every day. The disparity and the discrimination in the criminal justice system is just something. It's just y'all don't need me to go into that one. Politics, even now, they're still to this very day, even after the supposed Civil Rights Act, these people are still trying to commit voter suppression, closing down voter polls, trying to stop black people from voting. Then there's the other two areas of religion, sex, and war. But, and you see what I'm saying, how we are being attacked at all angles, okay? Living under a system of racism, white supremacy. There are plenty of studies. I suggest that you all go and just put inside your search engine how racism affects black mental health. And you'll see study after study. So, to me, it's like being in an abusive relationship. We've been in this abusive relationship for over 400 years. Sankofa Repatriation Assistance Program is saying, you know what? Enough is enough. Let's practice cooperative economics. Let's pool our resources. Let's practice group economics and start getting our people out. Because, and this is another point I want to make, we have a whole class of people in the diaspora, the majority of our people who are just the proletariat group, the proletariat class, the working class, who are just surviving, they have skills, a lot of them have education and skills, but they are living from hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck. That's in the UK. I just was on the phone with some brothers in the UK. The situation is the same for them. Wherever we are, and we're living under racism, white supremacy, we're all suffering the exact same thing. So what I'm saying is, let's all pool our resources together. Let's create something, and let's start repatriating our people to get home. Why do you want to keep living in an abusive relationship? When you see a woman with a man, or a man with a woman, and that person is abusing them verbally, physically, uh, controlling them, and it's affecting them mentally. You see them, they're sad, they're depressed, they're not who they are, not living up to their full potential because they're living under duress. And that's what we are. We are people who are in an abusive relationship. We're living under duress, and it's affecting us mentally and physically. So I say, let's break up with them. you know, let's call it quits. Let's get our resources. Let's pool. Let's do like everybody else do. Every other race of people pool their resources for the benefit of the group. Let us, the descendants of enslaved Africans who were kidnapped, whether you're in the Caribbean, the UK, the United States, South America, let's pool our resources. And then let's start repatriating our people back to the continent of Africa and setting them up in businesses so that they can thrive, so that our children can go to school in African countries with African teachers, with their African peers, and not be living under this system of oppression that's affecting them and making them sick and mentally ill and causing them to commit suicide and do all these other harmful things to themselves. Use drugs, all the things that our people are doing to hurt themselves is because they are still being oppressed. And I say enough is enough. And I want you to join me by making the Sankofa Repatriation Assistance Program a reality. So hit thumbs up on the down there on the video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel by Koye TV, and also share the video and share Sankofa Repatriation Assistance Program with our people. Become a Patreon donor. The link is down there as well. And help us reach our goals so we can begin to get our brothers and sisters home. Now, even if you have no intention of going, if you like living in an abusive relationship and you want to stay here, well, you can still help your group. There are some Jews that are still here, but they financially support the Jews in Israel, right? Okay. So you can do the same. It's okay. It maybe at some point one of your cousins or one of your children may decide to repatriate. So it will, we will already be there and have businesses established, and it will help those who will come, maybe not, right now, but in 4 or 5 years when things get bad enough over here, then you realize, you know what? We got to go. This ain't working. Then you will have contributed to what we're trying to do on the continent, and it will make it easier for you later if you decide to come. So support the mission. All right? Again, hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe, go to the Patreon, become a donor. We're asking for as little as $1 a month. Share the video and share the vision and the mission of the Sankofa Repatriation Assistance Program. With that being said, I'm getting a little, I gotta drink some water. So, thank you, family, for tuning in. And I'll be back with you shortly with another video. Thanks. Bye-bye. Love you all. Peace.